And we're back again. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today because it's Friday and there's beer to be drunk and a guitar to be unboxed. Let's get the beery bit out of the way first, shall we? Yes, indeed. If you were watching last week, which most of you were, I guess, then you'll know which guitar it is we'll be unboxing. If you weren't, then stick around and you'll find out. Excuse me. Frog in my throat. Yes, let me just get this glare off my bald old noggin here and see what we can do about that. This camera has a magical property of either being too light or too dark. That'll do. We're not shooting Spielberg movies here, are we? We're just drinking beer and talking crap, which is, about all we're good for. Anyway, let's see who we've got in and who was first in and all the usual sort of stuff. Rent to Kill, first through the doors again. Well done, mate. And Mickey Walnuts, David James, Cylon Hybrid, Dave Fiendish, and Terry Day. There's theme tunes and... Mickey Walnut is saying, has anybody got any anti-gas tablets? I'm trying to talk myself out of buying a Fender Vintage 261 Strat. I'm sure that apart from Nitro, my made in Mexico classic players are just as good, but I can't. That's between you and your credit card, mate. I don't want to get involved. We got Balder64, we got Johnny Random, we got Anton, and we've got Peter Nicholson. There's Malcolm Spillett, who had to nip out, but he'll hopefully be back by the start of proceedings, which is now. Hope you're back in, mate. Autogeddon 1 is in, so is Grandpa Joe. Let's put Grandpa Joe up on screen because he always types a longer message and they're just easier to read on. So if you want to get your message up on screen, make it a long one because it's easier for me to read up here. Hello, John and fellow Fatcasters. Today I would like to thank John for bringing all of us together every Friday and give us an excellent videos and information, what we love doing, playing the guitar. Well, thank you very much for your kind words, Joe. I just started this whole kind of Friday night thing when they shut the pubs during lockdown. And I just thought, I never dreamed 5 years later would be still going. But there you go. Some things quickly become a tradition, don't they? We got Paul Trainer, who has, as usual, given me a couple of quid super chat. Thank you, Paul. You are a gentleman, sir. Me and the missus are treating ourselves to a takeaway tomorrow, so that will go towards that. It's coming from the Happiness Inn this week. Happiness Inn is our local Chinese place, and they do a fantastic chicken chow mein. And with every order, you get a free bag of prawn crackers, but they usually end up going in the bin. And by the bin, I mean the four-legged furry bin called Dougal. He would whistle Dixie in the key of R for a prawn cracker. Yes, they bring out his obedient side. Anyway, then we got Peter Collins, Jimmy James, Joe McMurray, PFY Guitars, Chip Young, Dudley Squat, Marcel Conings, Stephen Hedger. Stephen saying, is anyone else having a hard time selling guitars on eBay? The second-hand market seems very depressed. Yep, it's kind of scuppered my business model so much, well, part of my business model so much that it was, which was to buy a guitar, try and get as good a price as I could when I bought it, make some videos, earn some YouTube revenue from the guitar, and then move the guitar on at a knockdown price, and hopefully, because of the YouTube revenue, that sort of balances out the loss that I'd make on selling the guitar and hopefully shows me a little bit of profit. But it's you just can't shift anything these days. It's very much a buyer's market. These things kind of come in waves, and at some point it'll correct itself, I'm sure. Then we got Cal Texper, Jimmy James, Frank Bolam, Gordo Canuck. Again, another long one. Let's put that up on screen. Good morning from a sunny but only 1 degree Calgary, Canada. Snow-covered Rockies in the distance and brilliant sunshine makes my heart soar like an eagle. Chief Dan George. hello, don't get that reference, I'm afraid. Hello, Fatacasters. Well, hello indeed, Gordo. And then we got, who else we got that I haven't mentioned yet? We've got Jack Collins, we've got Johnny D, we've got Colin Falcon, we've got the Lamb in the building. Probably won't make this one as I've been deployed to the local supermarket to keep the weans fed. Have one for me. We certainly will, mate. And you can always watch on catch up. Don't forget Lamb's live stream, 7 p.m. UK time every Saturday. I try and drop in whenever I can, but Saturdays the odds are better for me being able to get onto Lammy's live stream. But it's never a dead cert. We shall see what tomorrow brings. Then we've got John Ross, we've got Steve Sproson, we've got Dr. Gomez, one Doc Alders, Nathan, Calby and the Rocco Cat, regular in this parish. And who else have we got? We've got Mike Watson, 60s man, and let's scroll down a bit further, Thomas Mulvaney and the Daler 22. There's Chris Ottewell and Ardis Bubba. Robert Forsyth is in, and who else have we got? We've got Francis Chambers and Rexamatic. Saying another nice day in Arizona, looking forward to visiting Redcar in September. We're going to be talking about that very shortly. Any guitar shops we should check out in the area or up in Newcastle or the Cotswolds? Basically the next town along the coast from Redcar, if you take the coast road south out of Redcar, you will come to a charming little Victorian spa town called Saltburn by the Sea, and they have a rather good guitar shop there in the shape of Stephen James guitars. Well worth checking out, and I've used them before in the past, and great staff. Stephen James is the ex-bass player from a band you might remember called the Dogs d'Amour. Anyone remember those? And he now owns a guitar shop in Saltburn, and very helpful, very knowledgeable staff, and yeah, great place to go and check out. I can recommend that one. Who else have we got? We got Peter S. We've got Francis Chambers. Managed to catch the live stream as we're in holiday in Pickering at the moment. Oh, that's not far away from me. Malcolm Spillett is back among us. He's made it back. We've got Peter Hall, we've got Robin Fawcett, we've got Brad Dowell, we've got Mr. Chris in the house. Everybody give a hand for Mr. Chris. I think we might have one of your guitars to look at later. I can't remember which ones I chose, but you've certainly got some in the pile to be looked at anyway, mate, so just hang in there. We've got Alan Hoole, Jay Ow Young, Neil Roberts, Peter Bowley, John Channing, and let's have a look further down. Don't want to do too many repeats. Chicky Sheena is in Dingers 63. Gary Shaw, session guitar legend. He's among us, everyone. Session guitar royalty. Then Michael Purcell saying, get a cap on your noggin. I've got one downstairs. I should wear that. But then people had accused me of, looking too much like Justin, what's his name, Sanderco, because it's, mind you, I haven't got the accent, have I? We've got Greg H, Jared Ellis, Matthew Taylor-Jones. We've got David Barlow, and let's have a wee look here. Anyone else I haven't mentioned? Gary Shaw saying, PRS and an AC-15 used on my jazz gig on Sunday. Lovely sonic. I imagine it was. How could you get a bad sound out of that combination? We got my pal Steve Cassidy there in the chat as well. Don't forget Steve's video straight after this one, where I think it's that kind of, I can't remember the name of it, but that sort of all-in-one kind of smart guitar with all the built-in effects and stuff on it. You're doing the full review of that tonight, aren't you, mate? I might be wrong. By the way, Steve, yes, I was watching your live stream earlier today, and the topic of 7-string guitars came up, and there was a lot of speculation about what was the first 7-string guitar. If I wish I'd been watching it live, but I couldn't because I was working at the time. But I can confirm that 7-string guitars go back at least as far as the 1930s. Jazz guitarist George Van Epps had a 7-string guitar in the 30s. And then going forward into the 80s, I definitely remember seeing in a guitar magazine in about 86 or 87, a guitarist called Alex Gregory, who had a 7-string Strat back then, and this is like, 3 or 4 years before the Ibanez Steve Vai 7-string came out. So I guess the first, anyone knows any earlier 7-string guitars than the George Van Epps guitar, which I think was made by Epiphone, although it might have been, I might be a bit hazy on that, but certainly he had an Epiphone, and that was a 7-string. Whether that was the first one or not, I don't know. But if anyone has any more information, put it in the chat. Who else have we got? We've got Jeff Benner. We've got, let's have a look. Lee Rouse is in, and we've got Merrick Behrman, Behram, I beg your pardon. I do apologise for my awful pronunciations, but I'm just a thick lad from up north, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Anyone else I haven't mentioned? I think that might be everyone. I think that's pretty much it. Welcome one and all to the Friday live stream, the Friday beer o'clock shenanigans. As I say, 5 years this has been going now, and I just I had some weird ideas before I started. So what can I do online, like as a live thing that would be, kind of I think maybe shall I do a pub quiz? Shall I do, all kinds of different ideas? And then I thought, no, screw it. I'm just going to drink beer and talk crap. And it seems to be working. Been going 5 years. Let's hope it goes on for another 5. Anyway, cheers, everyone. Oh, that is going down like nectar tonight. Right, as is the custom and practice around here, I'm going to tell you what's coming up on the channel in the next week. Coming up on Sunday, well, you'll know what's coming up on Sunday if you watched yesterday's video, which was the first impressions look at the Player 2 HSS Strat, very, very generously loaned to me by a chap in this area called Sean that I know used to have lessons off me, and so did his daughter. And it's quite a canny player, is Sean. And this is his new pride and joy, this Player 2 HSS Strat, and he loaned it to me. And on Sunday, we're doing the full review of it. You know the kind of shape that my guitar reviews take these days. Basically, we look at some weights and measures, neck profile, nut width, pickup readings, etc., etc., and we hear what it sounds like in a mix, going for like a crunchy power chord sound, a clean strummy sound, an edge of breakup or cleanish lead sound, and a high gain kind of shouty lead sound. The 4 sounds that I reckon most guitar players, by and large, are interested in getting at some point. And I have this little kind of demo tune that I do variations of each week, and it's the Player 2 HSS Strat's turn on Sunday. So the full review of that coming then. Then on Monday, as you know, these Monday videos now are alternating between blues. I've got a really good blues one coming up in the next installment of that, but that's not on Monday. This coming Monday's video is all about the melodic rock side of things, and we are discussing the stylings of one Mr. David Gilmour this week, how to inject a few little Gilmourisms into your playing. What I'm doing with these kind of videos where I'm looking at the style of an individual player is I'm not trying to be a tribute act. I'm not trying to be an impersonator. I'm just saying, here's a few things that sort of this person will kind of drop into their playing every now and again. It helps to make what they're doing sound cool. Maybe you can learn something from that. And as I say, on Monday, it's David Gilmour. Then we're sort of rewinding a bit on Tuesday back to remember when I used to do the viewers' questions videos. They started drying up a little bit, so I went back to doing, I think, Rhythm Wednesday or whatever it was I did after the viewers' questions. But a few have been piling up. Not enough to start off a new series of videos, it has to be said, but enough to do a Top 5 Tuesday about. So on Tuesday, we're looking at the top 5 questions that I tend to get asked either in the comments section or via email or via Patreon or all the places that you can get in touch with me to ask questions about, basically. So that's Tuesday's video. Wednesday is yet again another track from the new album, and I started off doing this as a little bit of a a country kind of thing. That was my initial thought. I thought I'll write a country tune. It didn't end up staying 100% country, but it has got a little bit of that vibe about it. It ends up going into a kind of a Thin Lizzy kind of twin guitar harmony part towards the end, but I couldn't help myself, frankly. So that is Wednesday's video. Then on Thursday, excuse me just a moment, it's a little bit of a revisit video about this guitar, this rather gorgeous PRS SE CE24. Rather special guitar, this one. I do really like it. It's not what I thought it was going to be when I first got it. I was thinking, PRS, it's going to be sort of midway between sort of Strat and Les Paul. But this is the guitar that I tend to reach for whenever I need Fendery kind of sounds, over and above the classic vibe Strat that's on the back wall there, and the Nashville Telecaster that's back there on that wall. For some reason, this guitar has become my kind of Fender tone machine, and we're exploring that on Thursday, and that is what's coming up on the channel this week. Excuse me while I just recharge my flagon of Carlsberg Export. That's what we're on this week, and have been for quite some time. Yes, they stopped kind of making the Heineken as readily available in my local supermarket, so I started buying the Carlsberg, and now I genuinely think I prefer it. Oh, what an absolutely perfect, what a genuinely perfect pour. You couldn't wish for a head better than that on any pint, could you? Oh, you can't see, can you? You can't prove otherwise. There you go. Cheers, everyone. And alongside this, we have to have just a moment's silence for a bit of this. Nice to see you all putting flake in the chat there. As I've said, something about the stainless steel liner of this rather lovely tankard that my wife got me for Christmas. It does tend to inhibit the lively pour, where you get a head that thick. No, I have a head that thick on Saturday morning after this. Anyway, Johnny D saying, did I see the head creeping up over the rim? Come clean now. Yeah, it's only because you can almost fit two of these into one of these, and I sort of, I say almost, I hadn't quite got down far enough before refilling. Jay Owyong is saying, I've been led to believe that the Player 2 Strats are chambered. I didn't know that, mate. I can't confirm that one way or another, but oh, excuse me, windy pops. I can't confirm that one way or another, but it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, we're nearly a third of the way into the stream. Shall we get the unboxing knife out? Here we go. You'll just have to imagine this is all speeded up with the accompanying music. I'll probably, there we go. I'll probably reuse this this footage when I do the first impressions video on this guitar. But what guitar is it, I hear you ask? Well, as I say, if you were watching last week, you will know that it is. Oh, it's double boxed. So we can get that one out of there. This turned up on Monday and I've been dying to open it ever since. But I thought, no, I'll save it for the live stream, chaps. Right, have we got any tape on this to slit? I don't believe we have. That gives you a bit of a clue, doesn't it? Oh, it actually comes with a gig bag. Well, a dust cover, really. All the usual bump. Does anybody ever actually use the leads that come with guitars? And you, oh, we've got a strap with it as well as a strap for the gig bag. This, I'm not going to be playing this guitar here. This is just an unboxing, a reveal, because I'm not really set up, unlike some clever YouTubers who manage to know how to do this. I'm not really set up for being able to. Where's the bloody zip? Be able to do a live stream while I'm playing. There's the zip there. Right, there we go. Oh, and then we've got another bag inside the bag. Like Russian dolls, this, isn't it? Let's take the little laggy band off the top. And, you know, what have we got here then? I've never actually seen one of these in the flesh, so I don't. See if we can get the bag off without ripping it. You never manage that, do you? As you can see, it's a Gear for Music guitar. Yes. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the Gear for Music LA Select thing. I'm not sure of the actual model number, but it's basically a £79 guitar that's on the Gear for Music website that has an ash body. £79. It has an ash body and maple neck, Wilkinson pickups, and at £79 it has stainless steel frets. Just looking at this here, what is the action like? Well, you know, maybe not a double-decker bus underneath the strings, but certainly a single-decker bus. Yeah, the action is 2.5 millimeters at the 12th fret. It's a £79 guitar. It's never going to have been lavished with any kind of setup love. But yeah, so ash body in a bit of a Liberace finish, it has to be said, metallic pink. Something tells me that this guitar is not going to be a long-term resident at Robson Towers. A really dry Jatoba fretboard, a neck that feels, if you've ever played a Glary guitar, you know, where Glary guitars, the necks always feel like they could have just done with a little bit more sanding. That's what this feels like. It's exactly as I was expecting it to feel, you know, at this price point. But it was, you know, kind of Wilkinson ash body and stainless steel frets for 80 quid that piqued my interest. I'm going to have to give this a setup before I do any sort of, you know, any kind of video with it or anything. I might just, you know, give the back of the neck some wire wool love, along with a bit of, you know, what does Mr. Milehouse call it? Some minge fudge. Some of that. Oh, this is just the instrument food. He uses the relic wax, doesn't he? But yeah, I'm sure there's a nice guitar in here somewhere. We shall just have to possibly spend an hour or so, you know, kind of discovering what it is. But, you know, I mean, it seems well enough put together. I'm looking at things like the fit of the neck in the neck pocket. I've seen Fenders with, you know, kind of a slacker looking neck pocket than that. Neck, as I say, does feel a little bit like it could do with a bit more love in terms of the finishing. And I mean, the trem looks reasonably well set up in terms of it being set up to float. That's it. That might change once we tune the guitar up, because it's, you know, it isn't in tune. But there you go, folks. That is what it looks like. That is the Gear for Music HSS stainless steel fret thing that I just couldn't resist because it was such a ridiculously good price. I may, I'm going to have to do some tidying after the live stream, aren't I, to get rid of these boxes and everything. Let's just chuck that over there, and I'll sort that out in the morning when I've got a hangover. That'll be something to look forward to, won't it? Right, so there you go. It comes with a nice little bit of manual here. All, you know, kind of, I suppose all this kind of stuff that you can't really see, can you? But, showing you how to connect it to the amplifier, what the volume and tone knobs do, how the pickup selector works and everything. This is a prime candidate for somebody's first guitar. And it's nice that you get some sort of little how to string replacement, bridge height, and truss rod adjustment and everything. It's nice that, somebody's going to get a nice little guide like that with their first ever guitar. We shall see what that one's going to measure up as. I'll tell you now. I'm just going to go over to my little notepad file where I keep a schedule of when everything's going out. Yeah, the first impressions video of that I'll be making this week will be going out on Thursday, the 17th of April, and the full review will be going out on the following Sunday, which is the 20th of April. So put those dates in your diary if you're at all interested in how that guitar measures up. I might do a little video on, doing the kind of setup and getting the action down and seeing what the frets are like in terms of dead spots and rocky frets and stuff like that. That might be part of the first impressions video. We shall have to, basically, I'll have to see how much time I've got to throw into that kind of video, because I tell you, it is hectic around here at the moment. Because of this, I had this brilliant idea, you see, over Christmas when I was downwind of a few. I'd had a few beers, and I thought I'll record an album and I'll make a series of videos about it. And it's that has become this kind of behemoth that I've been involved with. Just getting the tabs done has been a bit of a task, but we're on track. So much so that I will be finishing the lead guitar parts for the final track on the album tomorrow, and there will be an album launch video at some point in the near future, and I'll have all kinds of information about that in that video. Anyway, I've been blethering quite a bit. I need a bit of a beer. So, apologies for ignoring the chat. I'm just going to have a wee scroll up and see what it is I've been missing. A lot of people saying, suits you, sir, nice colour, proper bargain. Pete Bowley is saying, oh my God, Glaries are terrible. I would say that with a Glary guitar, you get exactly what you expect for that kind of price. With this guitar, which is sort of Glary money, you're getting more than you would expect for that kind of price, I would say. I mean, unless there's something utterly, as yet undiscovered, catastrophically wrong with it. I'm not going to hold that guitar to the same sort of standard as I would, as if it was like a £300 or £400 guitar, because that's just not fair. I doubt the trem is going to stay in tune with those butterfly string trees, but that's all sort of stuff that you can mod. Whether I do any mods on that or not is debatable. I get the feeling that guitar will be heading off to Zoe's place as a donation at some point. What else have I missed? Balder64 is saying, stainless steel frets for £79 mod platform. There is that, but I've already, it's like, how many HSS guitars do I need, given the fact that I've got one already, and in the form of that vintage, which, I mean, do I really need another HSS guitar, given that, Strats of any kind aren't really the centre of my universe at the moment? Peter Hall saying, haha, I have one of those. I know, mate, it was you that put me onto them. Theme tunes. Tried using the lead that came with my new Jet this week. But the noise it makes is horrendous. I did a video ages ago. Well, I say ages ago, months and months and months, probably over a year ago now, where I tested out various guitar cables against each other, including some of where is it? This type of cable, you know, and I couldn't hear any appreciable difference. I did basically what I did was I recorded something into my looper pedal and then used that same performance each time with each lead, and got shouted at in the comments section because the impedance from a looper pedal is different from the impedance of a guitar and it's not really a full representation. If I'd done a different performance each time, I would have got, yeah, but you didn't play the same thing each time, and it's you can't win sometimes. But in that particular test, I didn't notice any difference at all. Maybe I should revisit that. What else have I missed in the chat? Cal B in the Rocco Cat saying it looks like copper from here. Yeah, so when I hold it up to there, it does look sort of coppery, but it's my missus, as I might have mentioned, makes jewellery. And one of the metals that is very much in vogue at the moment for findings, they call them, all the little kind of clasps and chains and bits of earring kind of things that end up going into making a finished piece of jewellery. One of the metals that's very much in vogue is something called rose gold, and it has that kind of hue to it. It does look in the flesh, I mean, all it would really need is a pearloid scratch plate, and it would be full on Liberace. I'm going to have a hard time bonding with any guitar with that finish. But as I say, it was just a quick punt just to see what it was like for that kind of money. We'll see. But stainless steel frets, that kind of price. It begs the question, if they can do it, why can't other manufacturers? What else have I missed? Boulder 64, if the frets are jagged, then stainless steel means it will be a total mission to fix them. Yes, indeed. That is another consideration, mate. Steve Cassidy, would you mod it, John? Something easy. Lop the headstock off, add a 7th string and a Floyd. Yeah, I could make it look like a jazz master as well, couldn't I? At the same time, yeah, that'd be a proper me guitar, wouldn't it? Not. Nella Yema is saying, what brand is that guitar? It is Gear for Music. It's their own in-house brand. Gear for Music are, I guess, for international viewers, Gear for Music are kind of like the UK's version of Sweetwater or something like that. I believe it's just one place, which is in Leeds, I think. And they have like a big online presence. I'd say they're up there with places like Anderton's as being one of the big guitar retailers in the UK. And that is their in-house brand, Gear for Music. They have a few. They have more than one in-house brand, actually. They have Gear for Music, and then they have another in-house brand called G4M, and then they have another in-house brand called Heartwood. I beg your pardon. So they've actually got 3 in-house brands. We'll see how that one pans out. I'll give it a good shakedown. And we'll see what happens with it. Nella Yema is saying, can't buy a painted kit for £79. Yes, indeed. Michael Purcell, not a favourite of old grey guitarists. Yes, I saw that. Was that on one of Steve's Birmingham videos? How about a video on how to tart up your 79 quid guitar without spending a fortune? Now, there is, if I can get a video out of it, yes, so G4M upgrades video, question mark. I'll have to see whether it's worth doing it on anyway. I can tell that fretboard is going to need some serious conditioning. It's drier than the Sahara. Basically, I was going to say something that probably would have got this live stream demonetized then, but there you go. £79 is like a meal at a goodish restaurant, which comes out the other end on the morrow without much fanfare. Oh, yes, you had to lower the tone, didn't you, Jay How Young? New strings, bit of truss rod, fettle and neck and bridge, etc. Bridge does float, pickups are great, says Peter Hall. Well, there's the voice of experience from a chap who already owns one. Mr. Chris 54, a fodder for cash converters. No, if I decide I'm not keeping it, then it will just get passed on to Zoe's place and they can use it as a raffle prize or something like that. Where are we? Steve Cassidy saying, could be cool to take it to James at Agrajag and see what he thinks of the fret job on that Gay for Music. Real Luthier's report kind of thing. Yeah, I would, under normal circumstances, that would be a great idea, but I know from speaking to James and speaking to other customers of James that he is absolutely slammed at the moment. Work-wise, and just on a purely selfish level, I don't want to get in the way of anything that interrupts him building my custom build. We're going to just catch up with the chat a little bit more, and then we're going to head off. And Matthew Tyler Jones is saying Heartwood. Yes, is that not what I said, mate, when we're talking about Gay for Music brands? Sub-Zero is theirs too, I think. Yes, you're right, Triple X Paps. You're completely right. Gay for Music is York, not Leeds. Thank you for the correction there, Peter. Dr. Gomez one is saying Putatoriaus. I don't know what that means, mate. Let's see if there's anything else that's Jay How Young is saying viewers guitars. Yes, let's go to that now, shall we? I'm just going to navigate to the relevant folder, and we're starting off with this one this week, which you can't see yet, but you will do in just a second when I hit share screen, and from the little drop down menu that comes up, you should now be seeing 3, 2, 1. This guitar. This belongs to Bill Falwell, and this is his Groat hollow body jazz guitar. Yes, just something about that just looks very appealing. It's sort of got that that sort of slight Art Deco pickguard kind of thing going on, hasn't it? And the P90 reminds me of the Go Down Fifth Avenue that I played. Oh, it's got to be a couple of years ago now. There's a video of it up somewhere. Lovely guitar. And it has to be said that if you want that kind of sound, then you think you can get that kind of jazz guitar, archtop box kind of thing by just turning the tone control down on your regular guitar. You can't. Once you hear something like this, it really does become apparent that, if you need that sound, this is the kind of guitar you need. Lovely looking example of the breed. Next up, we've got another one from Bill Falwell, his Jim Deacon modified Strat. Anyone else remember Jim Deacon guitars from the 90s? They were, I remember full page ads in Guitarist magazine for these. And it was certainly at a time when, as you can tell from this headstock shape, when Fender were a lot less litigious about protecting their headstock shape. Next up, we've got David Roberts with his Epiphone Firebird. Firebird's long been on my to-do list. I did play one briefly that belonged to a student about 6 years ago, and it sort of dropped a little bit further down my to-do list after playing it, because you don't realise how kind of unwieldy they are until you play one. But dear me, that looks the part, doesn't it? It's the Firebird 7 that I wish Epiphone would do a version of. The one with the third pickup, because I think that was the first Firebird that I ever saw, and that's etched in my memory as being what a Firebird should look like with those 3 mini humbuckers. Next up, we've got Graham Campbell's what we've got here. Graham Campbell's Taylor guitar. I can't tell you any more about it than that because it's chopped off the longer description. You can see at the top of the screen there, ... at the top of the title. There's more information there, but Windows Photo Viewer is not letting me read it, but a lovely looking guitar nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, find a bad review of a Taylor guitar. They are, I think, universally lauded, aren't they? Lovely looking thing. Then we've got Hoog Jr.'s modded Classic Vibe Telly Deluxe, which has been modded to, like, I love the kind of the sticking plaster over where the pickup selector was. Don't need that. We've just got one pickup here and a volume knob, and that's going to stay on full all the time anyway, because, I mean, that is just a pure punk guitar, that, isn't it? You know, you're not going to be playing, 7-8 time jazz fusion with a guitar like that, are you? That is just purely for cranking out the power chords, and I bet it sounds absolutely magical. Another one from Jim Howard. Jim is going to be a regular fixture in this part of the show for quite some time, because he has sent me, well, put it this way, if he'd sent me all of these guitar pictures via like snail mail, via like actual paper pictures through the post, it would have taken probably they wouldn't have fit in an envelope. They would have fit. It would have been more of a parcel. So some lovely looking guitars here from Jim. We've certainly got a couple of a trio of Burns. What have we got here? Let's zoom in a little bit. This one looks very much like a Burns Marvin, is it not? Or maybe this one is. I don't know. I can't tell. I think I know who made those pickups. I do. There was a guitar builder in this part of the world, sadly no longer with us, a chap called Jim Cairns, who was involved in one of the resurrections of the Burns brand. And I had a set of pickups very much like those in a Yamaha Pacifica that I had back in the 90s. And I think I recognise Jim's touch there. And, of course, these look very much like... these are the, if I'm not much mistaken, with the metal covers and everything, they look very much like the certain Mr. Brian May's pickups that he has in his guitar. Anyway, some more from Jim, talking about a Brian May guitar. There we have. I think this is the Harley Benton one, isn't it? Yes. I can just about make out the Harley Benton logo there at the top. Did a review of one of those a little while ago. Lovely guitar. And what we got here? That looks like some kind of Harley Benton. I think that's the Harley Benton 25th anniversary guitar, isn't it? And that possibly that one is as well. Was then everyone else as confused as I was that Harley Benton did their silver anniversary model guitars in a gold finish? Anyway, what else we got? Greta Thunderbird. Yes, indeed. This belongs to, as you can see, Len McIver, and he's christened his Epiphone Thunderbird Greta. Yes, indeed, the Doom Goblin. Her very self. And then, I told you Mr. Chris will be cropping up. This is his little collection of amps. Fender Champion 40, Laney Ironheart, modified to 25 watt 4B3 stack, Blackstar Flybe 3 plus extension, and a Laney Lionheart 6 watt 2B3 combo. You seem to like your little kind of practice amps, don't you, mate? Curious about those Fender Champion 40s, actually. I almost bought one of those a little while ago, but ended up buying the Marshall DSL-1 instead. I know which one still works, though. And then finally, Neil. Is this finally? Or no, there's another one after this. Neil, local chap to me. His son Spencer used to have lessons with me, and Neil is the luckiest man I know because he keeps betting on that daily guitar giveaway, that daily guitar raffle thing, and he keeps damn well winning. And this is his latest acquisition here from said raffle. A PRS SE Bernie Marsden model, which looks like it's got that spalted maple top. There may be a video coming up on that guitar in the near future. Neil's offered it to me to do, a loan of the guitar to do a video with, so I'm going to probably take him up on it and might do a comparison with the Les Paul as well, because Bernie is, or was, I should say, rest in peace, a well-known Les Paul aficionado. So that'll be an interesting comparison. And this is the final one. Axe Pete. Pete, I say Axe Pete because he's Axe Caricaturist, does the, he did me the very kind of charming, caricature of me that you see in all the video thumbnails. These are his artist guitars. He bought one and liked it so much he bought another and then bought another. And he, as you can tell, he is something of a Telecaster fiend. And two of them are relic guitars. And like me, he's sceptical about relics, but he does say that on these guitars it does affect the feel and makes it feel like an old played-in instrument. I do beg your pardon, the middle one is a vintage. I mislabeled this, but the two outer ones are artist guitars. So there you go, chaps. That is this week's little gallery of viewers' wives. Johnny Random saying Bernie's Les Paul was called the Beast. Yes, indeed. And excuse me, I just got a frog in me throat. This is purely medicinal, you understand. Time for a top-up. Where are we? There we go. And once again, this will be an absolutely perfect pour with no 3-inch head on it at all. It's actually looking pretty good. I should get a pour cam, shouldn't I? I should kind of rig something up overhead so you can see the actual pour. Yes, but that would take more brains than I've got to know how to do that. Boulder64 saying, I'm going to get John Robson to post the Sparkly Pro Fusion P94 up to me unless someone fancies taking it off my hands before he pops in the post. Email John. Let me just grab that guitar. Here it is. There you go. Fusion T with Alchemist 90 pickups, Wilkinson trem, stainless steel frets, roasted maple neck. I don't know how much you're wanting for it, Rob, but if you get in touch and let me know, and if anybody's wanting this, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and I'm sure you and Rob could work out some kind of arrangement. Anyway, shall we have a viewer's tale? I think we should. Have I got any ready this week? I can't remember if I have. If not, I'll have to go into my email. Viewers' tales. Here we go. This one's from Johnny D. Here we go. Yes, here we go. This is from Johnny D. This is the sort of semi-regular thing that I do, where I relay some element, some tale, some anecdote that you might have about a brush with the great and the good, the famous. And as I say, this one comes from Johnny D, and he says, as a mere lad, I took a job working in the now defunct hi-fi chain Lasky's. One Saturday afternoon, when the shop was rammed, a bloke and two girls who immediately stood out from the normal assembled weekend punters came in, particularly the bloke who had something of a quite striking weird hairdo, one that was instantly recognisable, sort of iconic, you might say. I recognised immediately that we had pop royalty in, as it was Phil Oakey and Joanne and Susan from the Human League. They were recording at Martin Rushant's studio nearby in Goring. I was on customer duty that day, and they came straight up to me. Phil asked if I'd show him a Walkman that was in the counter display, so I fished it out. He didn't have a cassette and asked if I had anything I could let him hear. Well, it just so happened that I did have a demo of synth noodlings of my own that I would occasionally play in the shop when it was quiet. So I bunged it in the play and handed it to him, waiting for him to be bowled over by my musical brilliance. He listened for 30 seconds or so and handed the headphones to the girls in turn. He then asked how much the Walkman was and happily paid up when I told him. They never commented on my track, but I could tell they were highly impressed. Well, at least I think they were. More than likely. Probably. Maybe. Cheers, Johnny D. Lovely story, that, Johnny. As I said to you in the email when you sent that one to me, the next big hit they had, you could have litigated that, couldn't you? And said, you came into the shop that I worked at and listened to one of my demos, and that sounds a lot like your latest hit. It would have been worth a try, wouldn't it? So, where are we? Let's have a look. Jimmy James is saying, that is one glorious fusion to tea. Anyone got or played a Sire Larry Carlton L5? I had the L7 for a while, and truth be told, it was a bit of a disappointment. The pickups were a bit thin sounding. So anyway, if anybody's interested in that Harley Benton Fusion T there with the glitter ball finish, the Liberace finish, if you like that kind of thing, then give me a shout, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and I'll pass your details on to Mr. Balder there. And if not, then I'll be popping it in the post. One of those boxes up there. I need to get rid of one. I need to get these boxes out of here, but the shed's full at the moment, so of guitar boxes, funnily enough. So, yeah, if you're interested in that guitar, just give us a shout, and I'll put you in touch with Rob. I was going to say, when something comes into your head, and I think I need to say that, and then you forget what it is. Cal B saying, great tale from the famous side. Balder64 is saying, the flame on that is deep already. Only a guitar I have that would I consider hanging back to front. Yes, indeed. Yes, it's I mean, I played it in that that sort of demo of the Alchemist 90 pickups, and it was a familiar guitar to play because I used to own a Fusion T, as you may know. So it immediately felt familiar. The stainless steel frets are gorgeous, and those Alchemist 90 pickups really properly do the business. Really kind of full on proper P90 sound. It's just I gotta put my cards on the table here and say that finish is just a little bit too blingy for my liking, it has to say. Jay, how young is saying the Liberace reference always cracks me up, never gets old. Yeah, my mother, bless her, God rest her soul, she was massively into Liberace, and she would say, they say he's I can't really say it, but they say he's one of them, and it isn't. It's just his gimmick. Oh, the Lammy, thank you so much, mate. That's very, very generous of you. Don't forget, as I say, Lammy's live stream tomorrow night, 7:00 UK time. I'm going to try and make it, but it depends what the missus wants to have on the big telly downstairs. And if I start plugging my headphones in while on our night, then apparently I'm being antisocial. We shall see. Quite the gimmick, says Calby in the Rocco cap. Michael Purcell is saying, the new Sire guitars don't mention stainless steel frets. Does anyone know if they are? I saw a John Cordy video where he was talking about the S10 guitar, and he definitely referenced them having stainless steel frets in that video. So I'm not sure all of the new Sire guitars do, but certainly the ones that are into the 4-figure price tag range, I think most of those do. what we got? We got Andy Milani just turning up just as we're about to wrap things up. You're here for the last 5 minutes, though. Yes, I can't put that one up on screen, Tom Clark, but I know what you mean. Let's have a look, see what else I've been missing. And I just want to say, by the way, viewers' guitars, if you just want to send me any pictures of your guitars, same email address I mentioned earlier, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, as well as your viewers' tales, your brushes with fame, as it were. Anton is saying, I've just got a used Harley Benton Fusion 3, same roasted maple neck. Is fingerboard finished or can it be oiled? Don't quote me on this, but it does feel like it's got some kind of thin finish on it. I wouldn't swear to it, but I mean, put some oil on, see what it does. If it's finished, it's just going to wipe off, isn't it? It's not going to do it any harm. Let's have a look, see what else I've missed. Oh yeah, we've already had that one, haven't we? Jimmy James is saying new PRS SEs with burl tops just released. Yeah, I don't know why, but I was on the PRS website the other day, and I think I saw those. But I've got my PRS up there, That's as you're going to see in Thursday's video. That is the guitar that very much ticks my PRS boxes. The only way I would buy another PRS is if they brought that model out without the bloody racing pigeons on it. I still haven't learned to love the PRS birds. I've learned to live with them. But if they brought this guitar out with just dot inlays, or even better, the moon inlays, I think that would just look so much classier and nicer. But the thing is, I don't look at the inlays when I'm playing it. I'm just looking at the side dots, so I only have to see the birds when I'm looking at the guitar. As I say, I haven't learned to love them, but I have learned to live with them. And let's just see if there's anything else. Peter Nicholson is saying, watching football this weekend, John. If they were playing out there, I'd shut the blinds, mate, to be honest with you. 22 millionaires ruining a lawn. I have no time for it whatsoever. I was born without the football gene. I think most blokes get into football via their dad. And my dad had no time for it either. For him, his sporting endeavours were confined to the race course. And I did get that gene. It has to be said. I do love a day at the races. Anyway, chaps, let's wrap it up here. Steve Cassidy's video straight after this one. Go and check that out. Check out The Lamb tomorrow night, 7 p.m. UK time. And whenever Budget Guitar Johnny is on, he's on a Sunday night, isn't he? I think 6:30. Go and check him out. Searching for Tone. All the great YouTubers in the chat. Show them a bit of love, show them a bit of support, and I'll see you all on the next one. But for now, I'm just a fat bloke from up north with too many chins and not enough common sense, and I've been talking absolute crap for the last hour, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.